Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of GUBERMAN-PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We've been open now going on 12 years as of August 2023, and today very important news that Underwriter for Wuhan lab ANSI-ANAB, that's the American National Standards Institute and also the American National Crediting Board. ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. Well, let's do it again. Underwriter for Wuhan lab ANSI-ANAB responsible for failure in laboratory processes and protocols, or lack of protocols. Business owners, we're going to be very short. The rest of the data will be found, again, down in the description. You'll find plenty of data. Let's bring out Pamela Sale. Pamela Sale is, at the time of all this mess happening, 2017, she was the vice president of laboratory accreditation, okay, for ANSI-ANAB. And here she is. She said under deposition, she said that one of the issues, and I'm just going to add bio-level 4 lab like it was in Wuhan, China, and also a phlebotomy lab over here. She mentions forensic science because forensic labs, because she, this is what she was giving a deposition on, was the forensic labs, but I'm going to add those two. One of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic labs, bio-level 4 labs, or phlebotomy labs around the country or the world have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not. So you have a process that's out of control. You've heard this week, as a matter of fact, that the Department of Energy came out. I don't know why the FBI didn't come out with it first, but the Department of Energy said, yes, it is true that the COVID virus did escape from the Wuhan, China lab. We're going to show you a little bit of background on this. We don't want to go too far into detail. We want to keep it short and to the point. You'll find, again, the data down below in the description. And here we go. In 2015, Randy Dodry, the vice president of ANAB, the chairman of the IAF, and also the principal on the 990 tax firm for the IAF, handed over leadership to this communist Chinese national who's been involved with our quality since 1994, Zhao Jinwu. He is also, at the time, the chairman, actually the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services in Beijing, China. What happened is this. Here he is over here in the laboratory in Wuhan, China, 2017, handing over a quality certification for ISO 17025 certification. We also want to tell you, you also remember what Pamela Sale said. They can pick and choose as what they want in a laboratory, which in a bio-level 4 lab or any lab will ultimately cause failure and most likely cause escape of those viruses. And that's a problem. You know, protocol is like this. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What she's saying is, oh, we'll go to 4, oh, we'll go to 3, we'll go to 5, we might go to 1. That's what she's saying, lacking protocol. We have Mr. Anthony Fauci here. Anthony Fauci of the NIH. He gave a deposition as he was being inquisitioned by Senator Rand Paul concerning gain of function. He said he didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't have anything. He didn't do anything. Well, let me just say this. They came out and they said that Fauci under NIH gave the Wuhan lab about $3.7 million. He denied it, all the rest of that mess. On here, too, you have the CDC, who made in May of 2019 a training document for bio-level 4 labs in China. The only laboratory mentioned is Wuhan, China. Also, you have the factor that NIH and CDC both sit being controlled and watched over by Communist China from 2015 to 2021. They're still there to this day on ANSI's board. Also, Fauci said he didn't know, he didn't hear, he didn't, to Rand Paul. This is the actual article. If you want a copy of it, please feel free to send me an email or call me, 203-556-1493, or Daryl, tqrs@yahoo.com. We also have an article that it had diplomats that went over to the Wuhan lab 2017 or so. In 2018, they were warned not to play around with COVID viruses, coronaviruses. Well, I guess they didn't listen. Furthermore, the United States was very much involved with this mess. It is actually sad to say, but our country many times do not do things that are proper, and we the people have to suffer. That's why if you go to these countries, they give you warnings. And you know why they give them warnings? Because our countries have gone in there and done some nasty things. It's been proven over time and time again. So we have to suffer for our politicians' indiscretions. It's absolutely disgusting. So what happened is Fauci gave that speech. He said, I don't know about gain of function, no gain of function. We all knew about gain of function when it came to NIH and CDC. They knew about it. They're just lying again to us. And here you go. This is from the workshop that they have, the upcoming event, Second China-U.S. Workshop on Challenges of Emerging Infections, Laboratory Safety, and Global Security. If you read this, you'll find out that they were prepping in 2017 for a pandemic. Without a doubt, without a doubt. The first line of business is gain of function research, and this second lab workshop that they had is between May 17th and 19th, 2017. As I showed you before, ANSI-ANAB sat on the IAF between 2015 and 21. You have all the agencies and corporations that sit on ANSI were easy pickings for China, communist China. You also have the factor that during Zhao Jinwu's reign of terror of sitting on the IF incorporated in Delaware, okay, you will find out that he began on IAF a thing called CERT search, where you give the data to the IAF and they just have easy pickings for communist China to take your data, called CERT search. I'm going to continue on. We discovered in 2018 that yes, ANSI-ANAB are underwriters for the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware. You also have the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, which is out of Australia. They are underwriters. They took that down because I exposed them. You'll find a lot of data down below. I exposed the factor that this company had ANAB down as an underwriter, telling you explicitly in the context of that document, and we time-stamped it because we knew that they were going to take it down. These guys are slimy like snakes in the management arena. That's why their mission statement is half a nut fuck you, said by Russ Cheney, and they didn't do anything to reprimand the guy. They kept him there. Joe Bathy, who makes $2 million a year, the CEO. Okay, Daryl, don't say, take it easy. I better not slip into that, but anyway, Joe Bathy, who makes $2 million a year, he's a CEO, didn't have the chutzpah that his mother and father brought him up with. Nothing. Dead in the water. Terrible. And then the lawyer, Jameson Carroll, unbelievable. The worst thing is, business owners, I applied for Director at Large in 2020, in June. You can't make this up. I applied, 54-page document, 16 letters of recommendation, and I had to answer 9 questions about what Daryl Guberman can do for ANSI. Well, the first thing I would have done getting on the Director at Large is change that. They have a lawyer on board right now, Director at Large. His name is Andrew Updegrove, and he approves this. He approves this because we exposed him as well. And he was rated in 2004 to 22 as a super attorney. Well, as a lawyer told me of 40 years, he said, Daryl, and I have it on an email, both federal and state courtrooms are no more than smoke and mirrors. It's a charade. So I guess Andrew Updegrove, he may be smiling, he goes on talk shows, he writes books. Books are dreck. His books are dreck. Because if he stands for this type of language, he shouldn't be a super attorney. I don't know what he could be. So anyway, I did this. I submitted this. They never received it. I got a package, and on the package, there was a letter from Joe Battia, the CEO. A form letter, of course, congratulating me for being a nominee. Yes, Daryl Guberman was a nominee for ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, because if I got on board, Joe wouldn't have a job. He'd be the first one I'd get rid of. Russ Cheney, second. Jameson Carroll, we get a new attorney, and I'd clean house when it came to the NIH. Not NIH, but when it would come to NIST, the Department of Homeland Security. They have these government agencies on ANSI to protect them. They are the mob. The modern day mob of the 21st century is ANSI. Because when shit hits the fan, like Boeing's jet going down 737 MAX, the FBI comes in, we're going to investigate it. They don't do shit because they sit together. By the way, shit is a quality term if you didn't know that. So anyway, I answered these 9 questions. At the end of those questions, you got to see this. Guess who did it? You see it? Russ Cheney. Do you think that he was going to pick me to sit on the board? I wanted to be a conduit for the small mom and pop shop that supplies materials to the larger companies, the OEMs, that sit on ANSI's board. But no, you know why? Because if you have honesty, integrity, and the truth, they don't want you there. You might find something of impropriety, like Joe Bathy getting paid $2 million for doing nothing. So anyway, make this a story shorter. I dug deeper because just having this on a website is nothingness. I needed proof of the pudding. Proof of the pudding was this. On a government contract on 2018, here it is, right over here. ANSI-ANAB. When you see ANAB, it's ANSI-ANAB because, as I told you, ANSI took over complete control over ANAB. ANAB or ANSI-ANAB is an underwriter for the International Accreditation Forum. That means they take all legal responsibility. We'll show you what the definition is. This means in 2018, Zhao Jinwu was still the chairman of the IF Incorporated in Delaware. And he had an easy access into the government through these contracts because he's mandated by Communist China to take your data. So you have the problem with the Department of Defense who sits on ANSI, and they got their data taken. There's not one federal agency that sits on ANSI that has not been hacked by China. And this is what an underwriter is. An underwriter is any party that evaluates and assumes another party's risk for a fee. So we're going to stop there. Without a doubt, ANSI and ANAB are liable. But because they deal in the world of law, they have the Department of Justice on board. They also deal with the American Bar Association. So the mob is the mob with those guys, okay? They won't get sued. You know, you can sue them till the cows come home. And just remember this. I want to tell you a little story. The judge is no more than the referee in the courtroom. They are the CEO. They must make money for both the plaintiff and defendant's attorney. It is a charade. The law is not based on the law. It's based on statutes, which are no more than guides. Statutes are not the law, business owners, my fellow citizens. They are not. The thing that really presents itself as a law is our Constitution. Any state that has statutes are meaningless. Meaningless. They are guidelines for the judge and the lawyers to follow and then quote to make them sound good. So that when they give you a $400 an hour bill, oh, that looks very good. That's bullshit. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, it's true. ANSI and ANAB are liable. They usually say, we certify the system, not the product. Well, by them being underwriters, the product is also under their control. I thank you.